This is an action-packed series. Daniel Day Kim, Piper Perabo. It's incredible. What drew you to be a part of the series?
I had heard about the series from Daniel because I knew him from when he I had the enormous pleasure of having him act in a show that I produced 5 years ago called Drama World. He joined the cast of the second season, and so he also joined as an executive producer. And I really got to know him not just as an actor, but as a producer. And so, of course, you talk about what else you're working on, and when Butterfly really started to get put together, there were more conversations about cast and everything like that. And so I had first heard about the show from him, and then uh, the audition process. I auditioned probably uh, total of 5 times, I would say, for this role of Hollis. But I actually first auditioned for Atwood, which was the character in the first episode. And then it shifted where I was considered for something else, and then there's a long story there, but it was a long, windy road, but just so appreciative that finally, became a part of the cast. And now the show's out. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Alice is obviously June's right-hand man. How did they describe him initially to you?
They described him as an ex-CIA operative who runs the sole office for the Caddis Group and is manipulative, conniving. And if you see in the show, definitely knows where the bodies are buried, if that makes
Okay.
sense. And so have to definitely be, while there's a lot of operations running, there's also kind of the sidebar conversations that Juno and Hollis are having to really move things forward in this massive quest to essentially stop David Jung, who's returned from the dead, which is a pretty big shock to everyone.
Yes, and everyone's been told that he's been dead, and then his daughter, surprise, Rebecca finds out that he wasn't killed all along, and it's just
Exactly.
incredible to watch it all play out on screen. And you've got to share some scenes, certainly with Piper and David. But was there someone else you were looking forward to sharing a scene with on the series?
Just the whole cast is so special because you have American actors. Raina Hardesty is a star. If you watch the show,
Oh,
she
good.
plays Rebecca. You'll see she kicks ass. She brings all the appropriate amount of nuance and emotion to the character. Daniel's the man. He's the big brother in more ways than one. And Pai's, I mean, I've obviously known her since Coyote Ugly, and it was pretty wild to be able to work with her. And she's just brings so much humility and craft to her work. I learned so much working with her. But then you go, oh, and I have to also mention Louis Landau, who plays Juno's son, incredible actor from the UK. I had some fun scenes with him, some interrogation scenes that were actually not originally in the show. They were written in as we were shooting. So that was an interesting kind of plot twist for us. But I have to say, on the Korea side, you have Kim Tae-hee, legendary actress who plays his wife, Daniel Jung's wife. You have Park Hae-soo, who most people know from Squid Game season
Yeah,
one.
right.
He plays his best friend. You have Kim Ji-hoon, who's the assassin Gun, who's literally like the hired gun to basically track down David, and just to have all of these. Oh, and I also have to say Charles Parnell, incredible. Like, I think lately
Stacked. It's a
people would know him
stacked
from Top
show.
Gun Maverick. Yeah. I mean, it's just so you get all these people together in Korea, which is it's Daniel Day Kim's magic. He was able to get all these actors together, and you kind of don't know what's going to happen until you're all just playing together. But man, everyone, you spend a lot of time on set with people, and you just know if people are pleasant to be around or if it's not as pleasant of a set. But I couldn't say better things about every single cast member of Butterfly. Everyone was just there. ready for adventure, ready to work, ready to collaborate. And even though people didn't even speak the same language, this goes for the crew as well. Um, Everyone found a groove, and it was really beautiful. And I hope it really shows on screen now.
Every single episode is filled to the brim with action, and certainly you're already in good shape, if I may say so myself. Was there you
You're
had
very
to
kind.
switch up so that you could be physically fit enough for being this, action-packed series member?
I mean, my character is more of the, again, conniving and manipulating in the shadows. So there's a lot of quick dialogue, espionage, planning, coercing, that type of thing. I hope to do more action. I've done action for other series in the past. A lot of gun firing and physical combat and all that. Because I've been working in Korea for the last 15 years, even though I'm an American, I moved out there. And so done action series and all of that. I just, for myself, it wasn't as much of the physical action. There was some action, but it wasn't as much of that for the Hollis role. It was much more of a psychological warfare, I
Hmm.
think, that was going on. But he's still an ex-CIA operative. He's got to be in shape, like So it was just like a regular maintenance for me, honestly. Yeah.
There's every single episode, you have to keep an eye on what's going on here and there and sort of piece it all together in your mind. Is there a particular scene you're most proud of the work you put into, or one that you're just incredibly impressed by how it turned out? The series is just cinematography, chef kiss.
Oh, thank you so much. It's doing well too. I've been hearing some rumors that it's performing well. So thank you for watching.
Sure.
Um, I would say I just again because I work the most with Piper. Just it's a very big show, obviously, where there's big action. You have plenty of that, you know, physical combat, gunfire, all of that running around. But I feel that finding like kind of balancing that with the quiet moments of one little word here or a whisper can lead to a whole bunch of people running around and a whole arc of where this operation will go. The U.S. government starts to investigate Caddis, has suspicion that we're leaking information to, foreign operatives and all that. And so we need a mole. And basically, there's a scene where I report to Piper that I've turned someone in the US government to be our mole. And that was really fun because it kind of starts this whole side quest that goes
Yeah.
on in the series where it's like, okay, there's obviously the Juno David Jung, like that as the co-founders of Caddis, that is the main kind of protagonist antagonist journey with Rebecca just completely in between all of it. But everyone is so smart. Like all of the characters are so smart and so good at what they do. So it becomes this game of chess, which I really like that scene because it kind of was like another move on the chessboard, and then where does that lead? And so that was a lot of fun. And even in preparation for this, there was a lot of obviously I did a deep dive in as much as is available online as how CIA operatives are trained and all of
Mm.
that. Not as much from a
Without going to Quantico.
Exactly. And it's not so much about because so much of it is information, right? And the gathering and trading or yeah, of information, intel, right? And so how do you get that? And so much of it is about persuasion and just observing people. And then there's different tactics to try and get people to turn and to become sources for you and all these things. So that was really, really fun and really helped me a lot in preparing for the Hollis role.
So you've been getting, I'm sure, a lot of influx from people telling you already what a standout series Butterfly is. What have they been saying to you so far about Butterfly?
I'm in Los Angeles right now. I'm from Los Angeles originally, so I wanted to get dinner with my parents, who are still in Arcadia where I grew up, and watch the show together. And it, I they're it's a good kind of litmus test for Okay, I wonder if my parents like it. That says something, right? Because and they were so engaged, and my father's from the UK, my mother's from Korea. They're obviously of the older generation, and for them to have been really engaged, that was really encouraging. A lot of my friends, obviously, your friends are gonna show up for you and post and all these things, but I really do think Butterfly is a show for all ages and all different types of demographics, and that's what's really special about it. Because if you look at the trailers, it just feels like it's hard action and a lot of running around and shooting. But then when you watch the show, you realize, oh, there's a whole at the core of it this family story, this dynamic between the father
Hmm.
and daughter, as well as like with a mother and son with Juno and Oliver. And so that I think is what surprises people and it keeps them engaged in an emotional level. I think people are surprised by how much action is in the show, but also how emotional it gets. And it's a tough balance to like fit that all into one show. But I think like Ken Woodruff, Steph Chow, the co-showrunners, they just killed it. They found that balance and then the whole show is it's the first American series to 100% shoot in South Korea, which on a personal level was just so meaningful to be a part of. Um, it was always my dream to be in a Hollywood production one day, having grown up here. And I've been very blessed with the opportunities in Korea, but it's just such a crazy thing to be now in a US show, but that was shot in Korea. It really is kind of it's a sign of the times and how things have changed. I feel like for the better, and I really hope that there's a lot more series and projects like Butterfly in the future.
I mean, was your mom like crying? It's like, it's Korean, it's my son, it's the best of both worlds.
You know, my mom's very like a Korean mother of just
Okay, I was just gonna ask. Didn't want
yeah,
to ask,
yeah.
but was gonna ask.
She's happy to see me on screen, but she's seen me in Korean stuff. So it's plot questions sometimes, but nothing that's my dad's like, come on, just just watch the show. It'll tell you, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. She's I think she was the most shocked by how amazing Butterfly made Korea look because she immigrated in the early 70s to the States. Now we're talking post-war Korea, right? And for while she's visited, I think to have it be this kind of Hollywood action style series in places that she grew up, and now Seoul is such a modern city and it shoots all over we shot all over the countryside. So just to have it be shown, have her home country be shown through that lens, I think there was definitely a lot of K pride that was oozing out when she was watching it. Big
I was gonna
smile.
ask if she used the P word or if she's one of those Korean moms where, you feel it, but it's not said.
Oh no, she's very vocal.
Okay.
Yeah, and oh yeah, I would say most Korean mothers are pretty vocal about how they feel.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah.
What's next for you? Have you been busy working on some other series or some films to come?
Yeah, I came out in another series earlier this year called The Trauma Code, Heroes on Call, which did amazing numbers on the Netflix platform. I have a production company called Third Culture Content, which I started to produce Drama World, which was the series that Daniel joined the second season of. And I just partnered with a new producing partner last year. Her name's Janice Chua. She was a producer on Crazy Rich Asians. She was the head of international at Imagine Entertainment for 5 years, and so we are now developing we have over 25 TV shows and films in development now for North America and Asia. And there's some going into production end of this year, top of next year. I'm super excited for all of it. I will be announcing all those things too in the upcoming months. And I'm really looking forward. I'm being very intentional about spending more time in Los Angeles because I do see Butterfly as a real moment for the industry and everyone involved, and I really hope to do more as an actor in the US as well. So just this year has been kind of a culmination of my journey as an actor and then as a producer, and it's all kind of coming together this year. And so I yeah, th and I'm not going to try and take all the credit because I really think
Oh,
it's
sure.
it's about how times have changed. You don't have control over the macro shifts, right? In globally and in the industry. And I'm just really grateful to be surrounded now by mentors like Daniel Day Kim, who's just, I mean, I was at a LA screening for Butterfly, and he was announced as on the Mount Rushmore of Asian Americans in Hollywood. You know, because it's true. I mean, the guy's been doing it for a while, and he's the big brother to a lot of people, a lot of artists who have come up, and he's opened up a lot of doors, and he's I would not be in the show if he didn't really vouch for me too, you know. And so I hope to kind of carry the he's not retiring. The guy is like having like the year of his life.
Right?
Hope to also share in carrying that baton myself as as an actor and a producer. So I'm just it's a lot of gratitude and a lot of good energy, a lot of good vibes right now.